and the Todd Family YouTube video, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. Thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. If you jump on here live, here early on this Saturday morning, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure to give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. This is a video that I was going to do last night, but to pull back the curtain a little bit, I had a wrestling show last night. It wasn't planned, but the high school team that I cover for radio had a bye week this week. So I thought, hey, I got a free Friday. Let's go ref. Well, I re-injured the same knee that I hurt 4 years ago. So when I got home last night, I was in a tremendous amount of pain. It's gotten a little better today, but last night I couldn't hardly walk. So the last thing on my mind was video. So that's why I'm on here early on this Saturday morning. Good morning, Kevin Ron. I like your haircut, by the way. And as always, thanks for jumping on. Thanks for commenting. And thanks for supporting the channel. And remember, every day is a good day to be a Clemson Tiger. But it's time to do some high school football scores now. We're going to be scarce on the Georgia side because it's fall break, which when I was in school, we didn't get fall break, but they get fall break now. So a lot of the teams were off this week because if you're not in school, you can't play football. So a lot of the teams had a bye week this week. So going to be kind of scarce on the Georgia side, but it's about the normal amount of scores for the upstate of South Carolina. Lowndes defeats Camden County 35-14. Sequoia over Woodstock 31-24. Hey there, Angry Man. Glad to have you here. Hey there, Beth. Glad to have you here. And Beth, I think it's the first time I've seen your name in the comments section. If it is your first time being here for whatever reason, you decided to stop by the channel on this Saturday morning, thank you for being here. Feel free to give the video a like, a thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. Hey there, Springtrap. Glad to have you here. And Beth, I'm doing fantastic. Every day is a good day. Every day above ground is a good day. No such thing as a bad day. I'm doing fantastic, but thank you for asking. Hey there, Tay. Glad to have you here on this Saturday morning. Gainesville defeats Milton 28-16. Hey there, Tommy. Glad to have you here. Habersham Central improves to 6-2 on the season by defeating Alcovey 40-14. I'm doing fantastic, Tay and Spring. Thank both of y'all for asking. Hope y'all are doing well as well. Hope your Saturday's off to a fantastic start. And mine is, compared to the fact that last night when I got home I couldn't hardly walk, so the fact that I can walk today means my Saturday's off to a good start. And Outdoor Tommy, I'm glad you asked. I've been asked this question numerous times. And the good thing about me with the NFL is I don't have a team. And that's why I love to watch the NFL, because I'm watching it completely as an outsider. Because for one, I don't bet. If you bet on sports, you need your brain checked. But beyond that, I don't like a team. I don't hate a team. So when I watch a game, I'm completely 100% a fan and never care who wins and never care who loses. I'm not invested in any team. So I don't have a favorite NFL team. If I find one and ever decide to pick one, it's probably going to be the Jaguars, only because they've been around for 30 years now, and they've never won the big game, never played in it, and with the exception of 4 or 5 good years, they've been bad for the majority of their franchise history. So if I ever get one, it's probably going to be the Jaguars. But as of right now, I don't have one. I've never bought a hat or a shirt or stockings or socks or anything from any NFL team. Clark Central beat Loganville 28-9. Marist defeats St. Pius X 28-21. East Forsyth in a low-scoring slugfest defeats Walnut Grove 10-3. Madison County defeats Flowery Branch 35-14. Pickens defeats Chestatee 45-28. Tay, the main sport I watch is probably football. And it's not necessarily because football is my favorite sport, because I think if I had to pick one of my favorite sports, probably baseball. But I do thank you for that good compliment, Beth. Hopefully everybody feels the same way you do. I'd probably pick baseball as my favorite sport, but I do like all the major sports. But football is just the easiest one to find and watch. Hey there, cutie. Glad to have you here. You know, if there's football games played on Saturday, you know, you can get on YouTube on Monday or Tuesday and find hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of complete games. So if you miss them, not a big deal. Basketball, if you miss them, you know, you get on YouTube the next day or so, you know, college-wise, you'll find the 4 or 5 blue bloods, and that's it. NBA-wise, you'll find the 4 or 5 big-time teams, and that's it. Outside of that, you just see highlights. So football is the easiest one to actually sit down and watch, and then baseball is almost impossible to watch on TV. So the one that I watch the most is football because it's the easiest one to access. But I do love baseball. Hey there, Gaga. Glad to have you here. Monroe area defeats Cherokee Bluff 28-16. Jefferson defeated East Hall 54-0. Hey there, Rodney. Glad to have you here. In Elbert County shuts out Banks County 45-0. And Tay, back to your question earlier, you know, it's going to be hard for me now to watch the NBA because I do have an NBA team. They're awful, but I still pull for them because I'm a faithful fan. But that new rule they passed to where now if a player shoots a half-court shot at the end of a quarter and it misses, it doesn't count against your field goal percentage and your field goal attempts. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. So it's going to take me a while to adjust to that. Ever since LeBron James came along, the NBA has just gotten so soft, and this is just another example of being soft. To me, if you're not going to count a missed shot, if it goes in, that shouldn't count. Why are you going to give the guy credit for making the shot if you're not going to count it against him for missing the shot? It can't be both ways. That's like a quarterback when he throws the ball. If it's caught, it's a completion, but if it's incomplete, it doesn't count. End of the game, the quarterback is 18 for 18 because you only counted the completed passes. That's dumb. It's all part of it. Missing shots is part of it. If you're not going to count the missed shots, don't count the made shots. My favorite baseball team, Outdoor Tommy, is the Braves. Thank you for asking. In December will be 14 years that I've been married. Oglethorpe County hands Rabun County their first loss of the season, 28-19. Georgia Military defeats Hancock Central 35-28. Lincoln County defeats Washington Wilkes 42-7. Buford defeats Decula 58-7. Oconee County shuts out West Hall 49-0. Carver Atlanta defeats Holy Innocents 26-22. Columbia defeats Miller Grove 26-20. And Midtown defeats Pace Academy 27-12. And that's all the scores for North Georgia and Northeast Georgia. And Tommy, I've been a Braves fan since 95. And every team that I like, I've liked them for a long time. And I stick with them and I don't change. So Once I become a fan of a team, through the good and the bad, they're my team. I don't believe in changing teams. And Beth, I was asked that question a few minutes ago. I do not have a favorite NFL team. That's the one sport that I've just never had a team. When I first started watching football, when I was 11 or 12, I was a Dolphins fan only because they had Dan Marino, and I was a huge Dan Marino fan. But when he retired, not so much. And as I got older, I realized, hey man, if you just pull for players, you're going to end up liking 9,475 teams because there's always going to be a player on a team you like. You need to find a team and not follow a player. So now I follow teams and not players in every sport. On to some scores from the upstate of South Carolina. Newberry defeats Fox Creek 41-14. Hillcrest over J.L. Mann 51-14. You're a Vikings fan. Well, Tommy, tell all your friends and family who are Vikings fans about the channel and get them to subscribe so we can talk more NFL with the Vikings. I've always liked the Vikings colors. I've just never been a Vikings fan, but they don't give me a reason to hate them. So I'm just neutral on them. But since I'm a Clemson fan, I love the color purple. So I do love the Vikings purple color. Crescent shuts out West Oak 49-0. Gaffney defeats Burns 28-16. Malden over Easley 49-24. Greenwood over Greenville 42-14. No, Beth, I'm not a Steelers fan, kind of same way as the Vikings. I don't hate them, but I don't like them. I'm just neutral. Daniel all over Travelers Rest 53-7. Seneca shuts out Berea 48-0. In one of the few close games from last night from the upstate of South Carolina, Spartanburg defeats Dorman 33-30. Wren defeats Fountain Inn 45-34. Greer over Blue Ridge 61-21. Clinton over Chesney 50-29. Broome shuts out Union County 42-0. TL Hanna all over Woodmont 42-9. West Side all over Emerald 43-7. And Boiling Springs shuts out Wade Hampton 45-0. So a lot of the high school football action from the upstate last night in South Carolina was blowouts, not a lot of close games. You had Gaffney winning by 2 scores, Wren winning by 2 scores, and then you had Spartanburg winning by a field goal. But outside of that, every other game was a blowout. Tommy, thank you for subscribing. Tell your friends, tell your family about the channel, and I greatly appreciate you subscribing. If I had to pick one, bros, I'd probably pick Messi, but as a guy that's not really a huge soccer fan, I mean, I follow it, but not like I do the other sports, and I really don't follow anybody's personal life. So what they do in their personal life means nothing to me. But just watching them on the soccer field playing, I like Messi a little bit better. I think you're meaning Tyreek Hill, and yes, I did, Beth, and it was a ugly injury, and it's one of those things, Beth, if you go back now and try to find it, it's hard to find because nobody wants to show it because of how gruesome it was. But Tyreek Hill was already on the verge of slowing down a little bit. But with that happening, he's going to be out for at least a year, and that's minimum. It's probably going to take him 2 years to get back to full speed, but he's never going to be the same player he was. If he does come back and try again, he'll never be the same player he was. And as a guy that's hurt my knee now twice after last night, I can attest that anything to do with your leg or your knees, anything like that, It takes a long time to recover from. And a lot of times it's more mental than it is physical. And I hurt my knee originally in the wrestling ring 4 years ago. I was back in the ring in 6 months. But for the next 2 to 2.5 years after that, I was scared to run. I was scared to plant. I was scared to dive. I was scared to jump because I thought, man, if I land wrong, I'm screwed. So a lot of times it's more mental than it is physical. But Tyreek Hill is now 30, and it's natural to start slowing down when you get 30. And now this, he'll never be the same player as he was. But that was a awful injury. And hey there, Mackenzie. Glad to have you here. But let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Mackenzie, thank you for checking in from the Philippines. Greatly appreciate it. And tell your friends and family over in the Philippines about the channel. My hotel tried to charge me $10 extra for air conditioning. That wasn't cool. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of three. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.